Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, St. Benedict's Prep class of 1984, travels across the United States and around the world speaking at conferences, workshops, retreats, parish missions, high schools, and young adult events. In short, to everyone who desires to know Jesus intimately and enjoy a deeper personal relationship with him. Deacon Harold holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Business Administration from the University of Notre Dame and the Master of Theological Studies degree from University of Dallas. Deacon Harold has written a number of books and has hosted several radio programs. Most importantly, Deacon Harold is married to his lovely wife, Colleen, and they have 4 beautiful children. They live in Portland, Oregon, where Deacon Harold is assigned to Immaculate Heart Catholic Church. Let's now welcome Deacon Harold, who will speak to us about the life of the servant of God, Father Augustus Tolton, the first Black American priest.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a tremendous honor and privilege to be here. And I just have to say quickly before I start that, thanks be to God, I've accomplished a number of things in my life. But one of the things I'm probably most proud of is to be a Gray Bee. And that's the God's honest truth, best 4 years of my life. And I pray for the monks and for the school and for all you students every single day. And it's an honor to be part of this. Father Tolton was born a slave. He was born in 1854 in Brush Creek, Missouri. His father escaped through the Underground Railroad and died very early in the Civil War, fighting to free his family. His mother and his brother and sister escaped through the Underground Railroad to Quincy, Illinois. They had tried to attend church because they were Catholics, but they were rejected by the parishioners. The priests and the nuns welcomed them, but the people rejected them. They finally went to an Irish parish where the priest there stood up to the people and allowed the Tolton family to be part of that community. The priest recognized that the young Augustus Tolton may have a vocation. And so he helped them for a number of years. And when they went to apply to seminary, every seminary rejected him because he was Black. Finally, the Vatican took him, trained him to be a priest, and sent him back to the United States. In fact, back to Quincy, Illinois, where this time the parishioners all came to his church, but then the white priests were jealous. And they told the white parishioners that he was only supposed to serve Black Catholics. And then if white people went to his church, it didn't count for their Sunday obligation. Things got so bad for him that he ended up leaving Quincy and going to Chicago, where the Archbishop Feehan there welcomed him with open arms, and he served the communities there very, very well. But unfortunately, he was a workaholic and really didn't take care of himself like he should have, and died in 1897 at 43 years old of complications from heat stroke. And his cause for canonization is moving forward in the Vatican. And the thing that struck me about Tolton when I tried to read about his life and understanding him, he was raised in an environment in which it was a common belief that white people were superior to Blacks, and that the reason whites had the right and the duty, therefore, to dominate and control Black people and keep them in their place. He and his family endured a lifetime of hatred and oppression, both within the church and outside of the church. But despite this, he never retaliated with violence or sought revenge. Though he was upset by the circumstances of his time, his heart was never filled with animosity or vitriol. Instead, he responded with love and patience and understanding. One of the things that struck me about him was, why didn't he leave the faith? I mean, why didn't he go someplace else? I was thinking about that. And in the face of such bigotry and hatred, people said, well, just leave and go someplace else. But as we reflect on the life of this noble, humble priest, the reason becomes clear. Father Tolton was able to discern what many people of faith fail to recognize, that what the church teaches is true and good and beautiful, despite the people in the church who are all sinners in need of God's mercy. And that's what Father Tolton was able to discern. He focused on the teaching and not the people. He realized that the hypocrisy and the contradiction found within members of the church that don't live the faith that they profess didn't take away from the beauty of the teachings of Jesus Christ. and that's what he focused on. He always acknowledged the great gift of his Catholic faith and recognized that personal sin and human weakness is not greater or more powerful than the strength found flowing from the heart of Jesus Christ. So Father Tolton was a visionary who saw far beyond the issues of race and politics, and he looked inward into the heart of the church herself. And I'll end my short reflection today with a quote from him. In a speech that he gave at the first National Black Catholic Congress in Baltimore, he said, "The Catholic Church deplores a double slavery, that of the mind and of the body. She endeavors to free us from both. In this church, we don't have to fight for our rights because we are Black. The church is broad and generous. She is the church for our people." And I ask you to continue to pray as his cause for canonization moves forward. And I look forward to joining you again tomorrow to share about more African Americans on the road to sainthood.
Thank you, Deacon Harold, for sharing the story of the servant of God, Father Augustus Tolton, with us. It's unfortunate that over 100 years after his passing, our country continues to confront the sin of racism. This Lent, we invite the community to pray for the evil to be cast out of our country and to make penance for the wounds inflicted on people of color. Let us find encouragement in the examples of people like Father Tolton, who allowed the voice of God to speak more loudly in his heart than the voices of division, fear, and hatred. We invite everyone to join the Gravy Ministry at 2 p.m. tomorrow for a discussion with Deacon Harold about the other Black Americans who are being considered for canonization to sainthood by the Catholic Church. Alumni and alumni can email announce@sbp.org for the link. All are welcome regardless of their religious affiliation.